What single trope can cause you to fully lose interest in a movie, show? I can't stand seeing specialists being cast as masters of multiple highly specialized skill sets or areas of study. I understand that it's a popular action movie trope, but you also see this in the medical and academic fields. The main character bakes muffins part-time 3 days a week but lives in a 2,500 square feet loft penthouse in the chic part of town. If I kill him, I'm no better than him. Motherfucker, you just smoked 19 of his henchmen and put 5 more in a wheelchair for life. End his ass. And of course the bad guy gets let go, but decides at the last second to try to kill the good guy, justifying a bullet between the eyes, usually by either the good guy's sidekick, or the bad guy's henchman that he just got done betraying. The cop who is about to retire, the soldier with one last mission before they're out, and the person who was about to get married when they got killed. The main character is about to get killed. The antagonist is sitting there pointing a gun at them about to shoot them, but they first have to give a 30-second speech. This gives the love interest, forgotten sidekick, child with developing fighting skills to come kill the enemy instead. Follow it up with a quote from them saying, "You think I'd miss this party?" Being mildly impacted by lethal injuries. Likewise, when in sub-freezing temperatures, not succumbing to hypothermia when soaking wet. Not always enough to shut it off, but it always stands out and strains the illusion. Smart people making dumb decisions for drama. I have stopped watching several shows because of this. The ex-cop, FBI agent that comes out of retirement because the entire government can't catch a criminal. Will they, won't they? I liked watching New Girl, but when they completely restarted the main character's relationship I was like, oh, so it's going to be like that. Dear producers, please let your characters grow. Wait, I can explain this very obvious and easy to explain scenario. No. You're dead to me. Now stare speechless as I meander my way out of your life slowly. The clumsy, nerdy, awkward girl, who are normally played by the hottest actresses out there. Something that can be fixed right away with just a conversation. The young, talented, but reckless fighter pilot, cop, surgeon, lawyer who is the son or daughter of a respected, but deceased, fighter pilot, cop, surgeon, lawyer and is always pissing off the more experienced fighter pilots, cops, surgeons, lawyers by ignoring policy and protocol and taking huge risks and endangering the rest of the fighter pilots, cops, surgeons, lawyers only to save the day in the end and win the respect of all the fighter pilots, cops, surgeons, lawyers and the implied posthumous approval of the deceased parent fighter pilot, cop, surgeon, lawyer. When a character is repeatedly hyped as being insanely intelligent, but then they just have a decent vocabulary and aren't particularly insightful or clever. If an entire conundrum can be solved by just someone waiting 1 minute for the other person to explain but chooses not to. Irritates me to no end and I'd much rather stop watching the movie. Fathers that are stupid, literally cannot parent for comedic value. The useless dad trope. When a character is killed and then soon after brought back to life. You just squandered so much storytelling potential and audience emotional engagement there. Superhero movies are so guilty of this. The plot twist where the seemingly innocent character is revealed to be the villain behind the stages and goes into a monologue as to why she had their motives, bringing up a boring backstory about how their efforts were never appreciated or how they spent time in secrets learning skills to outwit the hero. Cutting the palm of their hand in order to use their blood for some goofy bullshit like it's not one of the worst possible places to cut. One of the ones that never fails to make me laugh however is something insane happening in front of a lone hobo, then the guy looks at the bottle he was drinking and tosses it over his shoulder. She was a busy business lady that only had time for business. He was some jackass womanizer with chlamydia. Will these two incompatible people go through a series of unlikely events, fall in love, have some minor misunderstanding, then get together in the last few minutes? Find out this fall. There might be a monster, ghost, demon in the basement. I better go check it out. Character dies at the end of story for no reason just because of shock value and they needed to kill someone. Refuses to solve the problem because one person may die so instead they risk the lives of millions. Presenting casual stalking and the denial of boundaries as romantic. Notebook, I'm looking at you. Not saying all movies that do this are bad, but it really makes me cringe. Edit. Y'all are right, The Notebook is a bad one. Yes, I know it's an older trope, but it can still be seen in some newer media. Disobedient, stupid children who ultimately end up getting their parents killed or put them in danger. Parent misses kids' play, game at school. It's in so many movies and shows done exactly the same. Lazy writing. The pissed-off teenager that has to move to a small town. The ugly girl, or guy, is made pretty, or handsome, for some douchebag who makes a bet. The ugly girl, guy is actually not at all ugly. Shitty communication to advance a dumb plot. Come on, people are smart, smart characters make good shows. Characters kissing after a big action sequence. Everyone in this show is an unlikable bastard. Making everyone an asshole isn't the same thing as having character depth. California chaparral-covered mountains in a movie set in Florida or the Midwest. Faked reactions by judges on America's Got Talent. You have the magician who is clearly intentionally fumbling around and messing up the trick. Even a 3-year-old can see it is an act, but the judges are sitting there faking disgust that they can't believe this talentless hack made it to the live show. Or you have a stage magician with some very basic illusions, yet the judges act like this guy has actual magic powers and can't even conceive of how it might be a staged illusion. They are supposed to be experts in performing arts, have some class and act like it. Random time travel. You invest in a show or movie and then boom, let's time travel and try to explain the intricacies of time paradoxes. I was watching Three Pines on Amazon. I enjoyed the first few episodes enough with some gripes, but there a particular episode where the investigator yelled at the suspect long enough to get him to make an angry, fully detailed confession on the spot. It's just lazy writing and made me quit watching. I didn't tell you this life, plot-altering detail that because I was trying to protect you. A black cap used as a disguise. Like my dude, I can see you walking conspicuously trying not to be conspicuous. If I were any sort of person looking for any sort of person, undercover superhero, spy operative, terrorist, then I will 100% suspect the first person with a black cap on. They can't figure out how to give their female characters depth without falling back on some kind of rape, sexual assault. Cop with family problems. Yeah, we get it. The job's so important that they've sacrificed family time and regret it. And now they want to be the parent they failed to be in the past. But this new case is so important. Watching the first episode of Suits with my roommate ages ago. Early in the episode, the main character just puts a baseball cap on another random person and walks away. The random person just walks with this new random baseball cap until the professor pursuer takes it off him in the hopes of finding the main character. My roommate just lost his shit at that. Like, what kind of person just lets someone else puts a baseball cap on him and keeps it there instead of immediately taking it off and going, WTF? He refused to watch the rest of the episode after that. He was fucking livid. I wish I took his warning because that show really was bad and I should have not bothered watching it after that too. Prom queen, cheerleader teen bully. Only possible plot line, redemption arc or gets what she deserves. Yawn. When a show, movie is set in the past but characters act like modern people do today. Most plot lines revolving around mental illness are just laughably bad. Also, they're not like other girls' plots. When it feels like you're being lectured by the writers. Take off glasses, straighten hair, boom, you're pretty! Exclamation mark. When director thinks the audience is stupid and characters explain the audience what is happening in the movie by talking loud every action. Example, character A hit character B, oh no, a hit me. I know, I am watching the movie, you don't have to be Dora the Explorer. Bad geography throws me every time. Like when a movie says it's happening in some specific city but the skyline is clearly a different city, even when the location has no particular relevance to the plot. Like, okay, why say your characters live in New York when they're clearly in Vancouver? Why not just say Vancouver or not say the name of the city at all? Also stuff like in Captain America Civil War where there's a bombing in Vienna and the authorities catch up with him in Bucharest and he's pursued by German police. Like, what? Why would Romania allow a bunch of German police to operate in their borders? And why would German police be the ones pursuing him for a terrorist act in Austria? Bucky gets apprehended and brought to Germany, where he's imprisoned by Americans. Why? Question mark. She's a big successful woman with a rich fiancé, but when she goes back to her small hometown for Christmas, things start getting steamy with her old crush. A Hallmark original movie. People getting knocked out with a quick bonk on the head and then having no discernible after effects from what should be a very fucking serious traumatic brain injury. Like, you don't get knocked out for 30 fucking minutes and not be in serious need of medical attention. This happens in books, comics, movies, TV shows, all kinds of shit. It is fucking stupid and I hate it. Like, I can suspend my disbelief for something like Dexter injecting someone with a tranquilizer, even though it doesn't really work like it does in the show. Fine. But the bonk on the head and the hero, or bad guy, just wakes up fine like he wasn't just seriously concussed. Fuck off with your hack writing. All the men are diverse in age and attractiveness, and the 2 to 3 total women are 20-something bombshells. What if we used 100%? And literally anything suggesting multiple personality disorder? If they really harp on it, the whole killing bad PPL makes you just as bad BS. It's fine if it's just for a personal thing, but when they try to make an actual case for how they're morally superior for letting evil PPL go free. Nah. I got a good one. As a relatively new parent, I'm terribly disappointed with how many Christmas specials do the Santa crashed and we need to help save Christmas. I swear we must have watched 20 or so variations of this throughout December last year. 30-year-olds acting as high school students. Situations that can easily be resolved with minimal effort by one fucking responsible adult that end up getting saddled off on a group of kids. Talking to you Harry Potter and every other YA novel, film. In fact, Sandlot had my favorite take on this trope, cause after all the kids went through, when confronted by Mr. Myrtle he says, "Why didn't you just knock on the door? I'd have gotten it for you." The arsehole teenager that talks shit to their parents because teenagers are moody. I didn't know anyone like that growing up. When some nerd just mashes every key on the keyboard for 3 seconds and says, "Okay, I'm in." Amnesia. Or, he's a highly trained operative. Blah, blah, blah. Sexual abuse of men getting downplayed as a joke. I dunno if this is a trope, but CGI fire makes me very angry and I lose all interest after that. It looks so bad. Bugs me that normal wage people live in huge houses. Pregnancy plotline. I don't care who it is, or even if I love the show. I stop watching. It's so boring. Forced humor. It sucks that the idea that every line needs to be followed by some random quip. Everything from Nimbus from Destiny 2 Lightfall, to every Marvel movie in the last 5 years is just cheap trash humor. I watch East Asian dramas. I'm so fed up of the childhood friends trope, or making them connected in some way in their childhood. When someone can just be honest and they don't just for the story to keep moving. That and making worthless characters gay. Like, hey, here is this character that doesn't do anything for the story, let's make them gay, and while we're at it let's make sure it's the only thing that defines them as a person. Our international flight leaves in 2 hours, guess we should head for the airport. Unnatural and unnecessary sexual relationships. It doesn't ruin the movie, but I hate how some movies, looking at UMCU, show the young geniuses as being geniuses by having them say sciencey and mathy things out loud like they're calculating some complex thing in the moment that we are supposed to be in awe of. Nobody actually does that. Even crazy savants don't speak like this. This isn't a thing. Kill animal or pet for cheap shock value. Impossible IT operations. Let's zoom in on the doorknob that is showing a slight reflection of the killer and enhance the resolution. Sure dude. Controversial, but shows, movies that rely on awkwardness, like The Office or Elf. I get terrible second-hand embarrassment and I just can't. Uptight woman, subversive insubordinate man, they hate each other. But there's sexual tension. Fuck all of that, it just encourages creeps. You're not dangerous and different Rodney, you're just a loud, incompetent dick. I don't love, hate you, I just hate you. We will not end up together. And you keep bothering me tilde tilde, my foot is going to end up kicking your ass tilde tilde, I will contact HR. Your main relationship in the show sucks. Make them have a baby. Run out of things for the show to have happened. Slap a baby in there. Character growth that can easily be earned through any other method. Nah, strap a baby to them. Any show that unironically romanticizes a male being possessive, jealous, violent, controlling, or otherwise crazy as being protective or portraying love. Netflix's kissing booth movies, not like other girls, unironically forced love triangle when the girl obviously isn't really interested in any relationship at all. Almost quit watching Wednesday several times for all three of these. When they start making the plot about the child, that up to this point had no purpose, I'm gone. Rape as a climax for a female character to become a strong female archetype. Got almost exclusively features such a trope. You know what show does zero of that and delivers amazing strong female archetypes? The Expanse. Krishna Navasarala, Bobby Draper, Naomi Nagata, Kamina Drummer, even someone like Anna is such a positive and strong presence. Many of these characters, I questioned their value at first. Bobby Draper was a one-dimensional nationalistic jarhead and Anna seemed like a naive religious do-gooder, but that's how you show growth. Character development. When they have a characters that are minorities, non-white, LGBTQ+, etc. whose entire personality is being, insert minority status here. Like, if it's obvious that that character was only included for woke points. There's nothing wrong with representation, but we can usually tell when it's forced. When one of the characters is autistic, has OCD, schizophrenia, or another highly stigmatized and/or misunderstood illness, disorder, and it's insanely misrepresented and/or the character acts very stereotypical. It's even worse if it's the main character, Adrian Monk from Monk ** OCD. Misplaced comedy that I frequently see in Marvel movies. Character has to make a serious, reality-altering decision, cue random quip or joke that's supposed to make the audience laugh, just stop. Child-free woman suddenly gets pregnant and suddenly isn't child-free anymore. Child-free woman doesn't want kids until she has a man, more money, or some miraculous chain of events happens. Awkward girl power scenes that exist for no other reason than girl power. When there's a love interest for absolutely no reason. Like in Star Wars The Last Jedi between Finn and the girl that kissed him out of nowhere for no conceivable reason, then the plot line basically pretended that never happened for the rest of the movie. Sexposition, as popularized by GOT. Sex scenes in general, mostly because they rarely do anything to advance the plot and feel like a cheap way to grab your attention. Intelligent characters who are mysteriously, conveniently incompetent when faced with important decisions. Young brown guy with a beard equals bad guy. Young brown girl equals she doesn't like her culture, religion and wants to escape from it. Old brown parent equals idiot that's that want to constantly get their children married. Intelligent woman with a thriving career realizes that her life was truly meaningless until she got married, had a baby. The strong female protagonist in modern movies who is supposed to be likable but always comes off as an absolute unlikable asshole, who is perfect in every way with no redeeming quality and no character flaws whatsoever. A misunderstanding. Frasier has brilliant dialogue, but the plots are basically Three's Company level idiocy, with most episodes involving a misunderstanding that drags out for almost the entire episode. My boyfriend gave up on Ted Lasso after the Christmas musical scene when What's-Her-Face comes to sing to Ted to cheer him up. He was so put off he missed the couple of really great episodes in season 2. I can't stand really annoying brat children in TV shows. So I made it halfway through episode 2 of The Mick and then decided I have no interest in watching this ever again. I know there are brat children in real life, but shows turn it up to 11 and The Mick had 2 of them. I honestly don't care if they tone it down and she bonds with him. Fuck that kid. The virgin being the chosen girl. Why can't the blonde slut save the day for once? They can be smart too. I need my character representation. Every person who takes one pain pill turns into a cracked-out street hooker. Do people get addicted? Yup. But plenty of people use the med responsibly for the time needed and move on. I get we have a health crisis, but it has gotten tiresome and I watch to forget life. Non-disabled person in a hospital wheelchair, like they live in that bullshit. Also, if someone coughs in a movie or TV show, they have to die. Prophecies. Feels like lazy writing and is usually trying to hide the lack of any real character motivation. Edit. Clarification. Idiot hero. I tried to watch One Piece, but Luffy was too much of an idiot. It's also why I can't really get into Dragon Ball. High-achieving male character is routinely demeaned, insulted by underaccomplished but superficially pretty female character. If you liked the video, please consider subscribing and liking. Any feedback in the comments would be greatly appreciated so that we can make these videos even better. Thanks for watching Upvote Stories.